Welcome to GatorBites, everyone. It is July 2nd, 2020. I am back here in Gainesville. Last week, we went to the beach for a couple days just to get away with the kids, to get a little sun, to get a little ocean, to get a little time away, and it was really good. I hope that somehow, some way, you are able to just take a break, take opportunities to take a break and just breathe a little bit and be able to meditate and spend some family time together, or just even some alone time. But we had a great time, but it's always good to be back home. I wanted to, in this edition of GatorBites, I wanted to hit on a passage, sort of a lead-in into my lesson on Sunday. We're going to be looking at Acts chapter 19. And Kyle spoke of something he called little darlings. And so I'm going to hit on one of Kyle's little darlings. He mentioned it on Sunday in Acts chapter 18, and we'll begin in verse 18. And like I said, it's just a little bit of a lead-in into Sunday's message. So Acts chapter 18, beginning in verse 18, it says, Paul stayed in Corinth for some time. Then he left the brothers and sailed for Syria, accompanied by Priscilla and Aquila. Before he sailed, he had his hair cut off at Cenchrea because of a vow he had taken. They arrived at Ephesus, where Paul left Priscilla and Aquila. He himself went into the synagogue and reasoned with the Jews. When they asked him to spend more time with them, he declined. But as he left, he promised, I will come back if it is God's will. Then he set sail from Ephesus. When he landed at Caesarea, he went up and greeted the church and then went down to Antioch. After spending some time in Antioch, Paul set out from there and traveled from place to place throughout the region of Galatia and Phrygia, strengthening all the disciples. Meanwhile, a Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria, came to Ephesus. He was a learned man with a thorough knowledge of the scriptures. He had been instructed in the way of the Lord, and he spoke with great fervor and taught about Jesus accurately, though he knew only the baptism of John. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue. When Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they invited him into their home and explained to him the way of God more adequately. When Apollos wanted to go to Achaia, the brothers encouraged him and wrote to the disciples there to welcome him. On arriving, he was a great help to those who by grace had believed, for he vigorously refuted the Jews in public debate, proving from scriptures that Jesus was the Christ. So, this is really great because Apollos was a man of God. It says that he was learned and that he taught about Jesus accurately, but he didn't know about the baptism of Jesus. Basically being baptized into Christ. And so what's astonishing here is being so learned and being so knowledgeable and being in some ways a teacher and a leader already for God. Apollos has the humility to sit down with Priscilla and Aquila and basically tell them, yeah, go ahead, teach me more adequately, teach me more of what I need to know in order to be able to be as effective as I can be out there as a disciple of Jesus. And so he humbled himself, and I really thought that was really encouraging. And so Priscilla and Aquila were able to help a man fully develop in his conversion. All right. So there was more in his conversion that needed to take place. And this is what we see here in Acts chapter 18. So Apollos being fully converted to Jesus would prove extremely important to the ministry of the Church of Christ. We go through conversion. We go through a time of really making a decision to believe, repent, and be baptized into Christ. And our conversion is very important. And our conversion is what makes that so important is then what we do and how we go about moving out into the world to teach other people about Christ. If we're not fully converted, if we've just got little pieces here and little pieces there, and they're important pieces, but we don't have the full picture, we don't have all the pieces together, then that could prove detrimental in building God's church. And so, again, it's very important for us in our conversion to have a full conversion. And so that's just a little bit of a preview coming up for Sunday as we jump into Acts 19. So join us this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. on Facebook Live or on Twitch, and invite all of your friends. Share it on your Facebook page, share it on Instagram, tweet, do whatever you do social media wise just to get the word out. But we really would love to continue to do our best to connect people in our community to Campus View Church. Also, just wanted to remind you guys that we are now posting on our homepage at campusviewchurch.com for Sunday mornings a Kingdom Kids video. And so we've got some of our folks that are doing a Bible story for the kids. And so if you're interested in that and you have kids, I would say somewhere between the ages of 10 and under, you could jump on the website either before our Sunday sermon at 10:30, our worship service together at 10:30, or you can do it right afterwards. But it will be up there. It is a tool for you, for your children, to be able to encourage your kids and to give them something to look forward to. I've heard some great feedback about our book clubs that we started a week ago. Last night, our book club had a great time together. We're going through Crossing the Line. And what was really cool is we actually came up with a name for our group. And the name we came up with was Cross Cultural Skittles. That's our group name. And I'm not going to explain that to you right now. But there's a reason for us being called that, and we're very excited. So that's our group, Cross Cultural Skittles. So hey, look, if you want to name your group, go for it. Talk to your book club leader and say, hey, let's name our group. Just to let you know, on Thursdays after today's Thursday, Dom and I are going to jump out there. We're going to take up any collections that there might be. Some of you still drive by and give your collection here at the building, but we're gonna stop doing that. We only get about 1 or 2 people every Thursday, and we're here from 12 to 1:30. So what I want to encourage you to do is, if you're one of those that swings by and drops off an envelope with your offering in it, that you go ahead and send it in. Go ahead and mail it in. You can mail it to 2720 Southwest 2nd Avenue, Gainesville, Florida 32607. And then that way you can get it in, and you don't have to worry about coming all the way here to the building. Also, if you usually come to try to pick up some communion cups, just let us know. Give Randy Scott an email. Shoot him an email. And it's right here on the screen right here. But shoot him an email and let him know, hey, I need communion, our little communion cups, our little communion packages. Could you please deliver that to me, and give them your address, and we'll make sure that you get those if you don't have them. Or you could go to the grocery store. You could buy some crackers and a little bit of Welch's grape juice. That works too. Also, just wanted to remind you to check in on one another. This is still a very difficult time for many people. So give one another a call, check in on each other, have some prayer time, some encouragement time. Also, I want to continue just to encourage us to work on our relationships on the diversity front, and really consider our brothers and sisters who are not like us, to jump in there, to get to know each other better, to talk to each other, to ask questions, to open up dialogue, and to really be humble with one another and encouraging to one another. We need each other, guys, in this time. Satan is doing everything that he can to bring us down, to discourage us. So we need each other. All right? Okay, so have a great week, and I love you guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on GatorBites.